Come here. You are a liar. Yeah, I started the video there. You tell your friends and your therapist and your sponsor, I just want a peaceful life. I just want the drama to stop. But let's be real. The moment that your life actually gets quiet, the moment that the crisis is over, you panic. You get bored. You start scrolling for bad news, or you text that ex who you know is going to mess up your week. Why is that? It's because for a lot of you, peace feels suspicious. If you grew up in survival mode, a calm Tuesday doesn't feel like safety. It feels like the eye of the storm. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and when it doesn't drop, you drop it yourself. Welcome to Sober Psychology. Today we're talking about chaos addiction, why you self-sabotage, why you hate being bored, and why, psychologically and spiritually, you keep running back into the building. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Michael, your host. I'm a sober dad and a psychologist in training, which basically means that I read all of the textbooks so you don't have to. And I psychoanalyze myself until I can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
If you're new here, we deal with the messy stuff, mental health, addiction, and faith, but without all the toxic positivity. We don't do live, laugh, love around here. We do repent, repair, recover. If you want to support the show, smash the like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm that we're not just shouting into the void. Today's topic is for the people who claim that they hate drama, but seem to be the CEO of it. We're looking at this from two different angles. We've got the neuroscience, which is going to be why your brain is literally chemically dependent on stress, and then the biblical truth, which is why the Israelites preferred slavery to freedom and why you do too. Let's get into it. Let's start with the brain. If you have a history of trauma, addiction, or a chaotic childhood, your brain basically developed in a war zone. Your amygdala, which is the alarm bell in your brain, is stuck in the on position. You spent years of swimming in a cocktail of cortisol and adrenaline. That was your baseline. That was your normal. Now you get sober. You get into a healthy relationship. You get a steady job. The cortisol drops and your brain goes, oh, something's wrong. Where's the threat? Where's the drama? Peace feels like boredom to a traumatized brain. You interpret safety as boredom, and because humans hate uncertainty, you unconsciously create chaos just to return to a baseline that you recognize. It's what we call the familiarity principle. We prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. You start a fight with your spouse over the dishwasher. You procrastinate on a project until the night before so you can feel that familiar rush of panic. You aren't unlucky. You are chemically engineering your own stress because silence makes your skin crawl. Sigmund Freud, who was wrong about a lot of stuff, but right about this, he coined the term repetition compulsion. It's the psychological urge to replay your past traumas, hoping for a different ending. It's why you keep dating the same project of a man or woman, just with a different face and a different name. You're trying to fix the original wound, which is usually caused by your mom or dad, by dating a proxy. You aren't looking for a soulmate. You're looking for a hostage to reenact your childhood trauma with. Ouch. We create chaos because chaos gives us a false sense of control. If I start the fire, at least I control the burn. If I wait for life to burn me, I'm the victim. It's a twisted form of power. Let's go deeper into the relationship side of this, because this is where I could see about 90% of you failing. You guys say that you want a nice guy or a stable girl, but when you go on a date with someone stable, someone who calls when they say that they're going to call, someone who doesn't play games or who is emotionally available, you come home and you say, I don't know. There was no spark there. Stop confusing anxiety for chemistry. Psychologically, this is called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same psychological principle that makes gambling addictive. If you pull a slot machine lever and you win every single time, you get bored, you walk away. But if you win randomly, if you lose, and then you win, your brain gets a massive dopamine spike. Toxic relationships are basically slot machines. You get treated like trash. That's you losing. Ignored. Lose. Gaslit, lose, and then they buy you flowers, or you have an amazing night, and that's a win. That win feels 10 times better because you were starving for it. A healthy partner is a vending machine. You put $1 in and you get a soda every single time. It's reliable, it's consistent, and to a chaos addict, it feels boring. You need to retrain your brain to realize that the spark you feel with the toxic people isn't love. It's your nervous system recognizing a threat. If you have to decipher their text messages like you're cracking the Enigma code, that isn't passion. That is torture. A healthy relationship is boring because it's safe. Get used to the vending machine and stop playing the slots. Here's another layer. Some of you keep creating chaos because you literally don't know who you are without a crisis to solve. In family systems theory, we talk about roles. Maybe growing up, you were the fixer or the hero or the scapegoat. If you're the fixer and then suddenly everyone is fine, you feel absolutely useless. If you're the scapegoat and then suddenly no one is blaming you, you feel invisible. You subconsciously light fires just so you can put them out and then feel valuable again. You self-sabotage so you can have something to overcome. You have built your entire personality around being a survivor. And listen, being a survivor is a great chapter in your book, but it's a terrible title for the whole novel. You have to ask yourself the scary question. If I'm not fighting for my life, who am I? And if the answer is I don't know, that is why you are relapsing. You're filling the void of identity with the noise of chaos. You know what time it is. Now let's look at this spiritually, because the Bible called this out thousands of years before psychology had a name for it. Look at the book of Exodus. God delivers the Israelites from Egypt. Massive miracles, parting the Red Sea. They were finally free from slavery. They're headed to the promised land. But the moment things get hard in the desert, what do they say? This is Exodus 16:13. If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food that we wanted. They literally romanticized their slavery. They said, yeah, we were whipped and beaten and owned, but at least we had onions and leeks. The Israelites preferred the predictability of slavery to the responsibility of freedom. That is you. That is me. Sobriety is freedom, but it's scary. Health is freedom, but it requires discipline. Dysfunction is slavery, but it's easy. You don't have to try if you're a mess. You don't have to succeed if you're always in crisis mode. Sin isn't just breaking rules. Sin is often the easy way out. It's the path of least resistance. Chaos is the lazy man's way of feeling alive. True life, the life that Jesus talks about in John 10:10, requires the discipline of peace. Let's look at another biblical example of chaos addiction. Let's talk about Abraham and Sarah. God promised them a son, but it's taking too long. It's too quiet. The waiting is boring. So Sarah decides to inject some chaos into the situation. She says, hey, Abraham, sleep with my servant, Hagar. Let's speed this up. She tried to help God out. She tried to manufacture a miracle because she couldn't handle the stillness of waiting. And what happened? Ishmael. She created a chaotic family dynamic, jealousy, resentment, banishment that lasted for generations, not just a little while, generations. Most of the chaos in your life is just you trying to force a door that God hasn't opened yet. You get impatient in the hallway and then you kick a hole in the wall. That isn't God's plan. That's your panic. We create chaos because we don't trust God's timing. We think if we aren't spinning the plates, they're going to all fall. Faith is the discipline of letting the plates sit still. So, how do we break the addiction to chaos? Number one, exposure therapy for boredom. You need to practice being bored. Seriously, just sit in a room with no phone, no music, no distractions for 10 minutes a day. Your skin will crawl. You're gonna feel anxious, but that is the withdrawal from the chaos chemicals. Sit there anyways. You're retraining your amygdala that quiet does not equal danger. Number two, name the game. Name it to tame it. When you feel the urge to pick a fight or blow up your budget or whatever, pause and say out loud, I'm not actually angry, I'm just craving dopamine. Call it what it is, it strips it of its power. And number three, the spirit of self-control. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, for God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Self-control isn't just about not drinking or not looking at porn. It's about controlling your reaction to silence. It's about choosing to trust God with the quiet moments rather than filling them with your own noise. Come on, get in. Listen to me. You deserve a boring life. And I mean that as the highest compliment. You deserve a life where you pay your bills on time, where you sleep through the night, where your relationships aren't a wrestling match. Don't let your trauma convince you that peace is a trap. Peace is the promise. Stop burning down the house just to feel the heat. If this video hit a nerve, good. That means that the anesthesia is wearing off. Comment below, I choose peace. Let me see who's ready to do the work. Subscribe if you want to get better. Don't if you want to stay the same. I'm Michael. This is Sober Psychology. See you next week. Keep your head up. Keep your heart open. And go help somebody. Love you guys.